Hi, everyone. It's Debbie and Dana,
Dana.
and we're having our conversation. So, welcome. We decided that, and we just decided a few minutes ago. It was like, okay, what are we going to talk about? And we just kind of feel like as the world is going on, that belonging might be a good topic for us to get into. And
And
so,
what belonging means to each of us,
yeah,
because I think everybody has a different perspective on what belonging, belonging to a club or belonging to a church or just belonging in your community.
yep. And how important it is for us to not feel alone and to feel that we have support and we have understanding. And we were talking too about Dana may say something that I don't agree with, but that
Yes.
doesn't mean that she isn't going to still be my friend. I mean, there's healthy boundaries on things that can cause harm, and it can be emotional, physical, spiritual,
Yep.
whatever. But in having and meeting new friends and building some bridges, there's the point of conversation that's important
Yes.
in listening. We had brought that up last week too.
And I also think that you can pick up a vibe of whether you someone is welcoming or not welcoming. Um,
Yeah.
and listen to that, because if it's not a welcoming, you really don't want to be a part of it anyway, and that's just my opinion. But um anyway, we were going to talk about some moments in our lives that we felt or the word belonging is appropriate to use. And I'll go ahead and start with my story. So when I think that belonging starts as early as the when you first leave the house for the first time, like in grade school, the first time you go over to someone's house after school, because and then you realize, oh my gosh, this isn't like what I have at home. That
Mm-hmm.
there could a whole different vibe. I had friends, a good friend in high school that I used to love to go to her house. They had 8 kids in their family, and her mom, bless her heart, would make 8 different. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I'm not exaggerating when it's 4 um, entrees
Oh
for
my
their
gosh.
dinner table. So it was like going to
A
a buffet.
restaurant.
Yeah, yeah. And then, probably 6 different. It was fun. Anyway, much different than our house. And even in as I remember when I was a para, one of the kindergarten teachers coming and telling me that how cliques had already started in kindergarten with one of
Wow.
the girls, and we're talking the first week of school, and this little girl said, "Don't talk to so and so because she's not wearing whatever the it shoes for kindergarten at that time was." So it's your actions, even at that young, really contribute to how everybody else feels
Isn't
about.
that something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to fast forward to high school, and I am not a math person. Never have been. I don't think I ever will be. And I really believe, we were talking about this earlier, you're either a math kid or you're not. There's it just it once they put algebra in and they were putting in alphabet with numbers, no,
Yeah.
it didn't compute at
Right,
all.
right.
But my dad was very strict, and he said, "You are going to take algebra and you're going to like it." And I was like, "Okay." It did not happen that way. I did not, it just wouldn't compute. And we had the teacher that I had was the football coach, who in my opinion, the reason he taught was so he could coach.
Mm-hmm.
Football was his passion. That just happened to be the class he taught so he could coach. And he wasn't all that great of a teacher. Um, he he didn't really work with the students. He just assumed you knew math, and here's the assignment, blah blah blah. And here comes Dana, who doesn't know, A equals 2, or whatever it was. So he teamed me up with, I'm not going to use his name, but a very nice, sweet, sweet guy, very shy guy in high school. And this poor guy worked so hard. He tried so hard to make it compute, and it didn't. And um, the teacher finally started making fun of me in class one day, and I just stood up and I said, "You're a shitty teacher."
Did you
And
really say that?
I did.
Wow.
I was
Okay.
I was mad because you don't do that. You
Right.
don't. We were high school was adulthood. You know,
Mhm,
you don't belittle. And I just said I didn't want to take this class. My dad made me take this class, and I'm not coming back. And I walked out. And he passed me because he didn't want me back in that class. So now I'm fast forward. Well, I'm out of high school, and I think I'd moved to Colorado already, and I was coming back for a class reunion.
And you were married.
And I was married. I think I
Had
was
kids.
pregnant with my second kid. And I'm walking across the street in another town that's far away from where I grew up in. And I saw him. I saw the guy that tried to help me in class. And I was like, "Oh my God, so and so, how are you? You know, blah, 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 blah. Are you coming to the reunion?" And he just got this solemn look on his face. And he said, "No." And I'm like, "Why? Why aren't you?" You know, I was excited to see everyone. Well, nobody talked to me in high school. Why would I want to go to the reunion? Nobody will talk to me there. And my heart just sank. Because he, like we all do, I'm not just saying him, but his experience of not belonging affected him as an adult and affected his and I think we've all, I can say that's the same way for me. There are things that had happened in the past that still affect how I feel or whatever, you know, today. So I try to make it a point to inclusion is a good thing. Just that was a learning moment for me, a definite learning moment for me.
And but you were able, in that moment though, he was also a great teacher for you because
Yes.
it created such an awareness
Yes.
for you to
I did never think of it. Yeah.
that you are from now on making a point
Yep.
of including and asking and engaging with people. And
Yes.
okay, that's
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my story
Yes.
is back in the day when I had decided that I was going to leave the church. For 3 or 4 years before that, there was a group of 3 women and myself. There were 4 of us, and we were all part of a Cursillo group at our church. And we got together once a week, and we talked and shared, and did just amazing group of incredible women. And they spent 3 to 4 years listening to my saga story about me and my husband and our relationship not working, and coming out with him being gay and all of these things, and so supportive of me. They were a lifeline for me, and I was, what a gift each one of them were. And we all have our own personalities, and they brought that all in to it too. But then when I decided to leave the church, and I had invested in my new growing business with creating a holistic health community. I was still on city council. I was single and raising 2 teenagers on my own and doing all the counseling things for them and for me. I dropped out of a friendship with them, and because I was immersed in all my other life stuff. And I ran into them at a restaurant, and they just smiled when they saw me and asked how I was doing, and said, "Anytime you want to get together, you're welcome to come back." And it just made my heart so grateful that they didn't turn their back when they saw me, that they were still open and receiving of me. And I didn't go back to getting together with them because my life was in the process of changing hugely. But I do really acknowledge those 3 women in my life, and their willingness, that when I stepped back from the friendship, they didn't step back from me.
They gave you space. Yeah.
So I'm
also, on that note, I am a true believer. I remember hearing this a long time ago, and now I am a true believer. I do think that people come into your lives at the right moment,
Oh,
and they
yes.
may not stay. It's just part of the ribbon that you needed at the moment. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah.
Um, and then it's okay to let go of the ribbon sometimes.
hmm Well, yeah, yeah, because I mean, if we were still totally immersed with all the people that we have met throughout our lives, I'd be a crazy person.
We wouldn't be sleeping.
but but there's that sense of belonging, and even though there was distance, and I think any of us can think back on different friendships or relationships or family connections, that there are times that maybe those ties are broken.
Yeah.
And it might be a very good reason why they're broken, or it just might need to have a time of healing.
Yes.
And time is a gift, and healing can happen in time. And that can be another conversation for another time.
Yeah.
But I really think that in all of the things that are going on and people taking this side or that side, I think that all of us in belonging, we all want to feel secure.
Yes.
We all want to feel safe.
Yes.
We all want to be seen. We all want to be heard. And there's that balance of being present and listening, like we talked about
Yes.
before.
Listening's huge, and that was a lesson I had to learn because I blah, blah, blah. But yeah, listening definitely.
And so in this time that we're living in, if there can be an opportunity for you to be including someone in or having a conversation that might be a little bit difficult, but to listen and to maybe get a sense of what they're going through or why they're feeling the way that they're feeling, that that would be a good thing to do. And if it isn't a healthy thing, if it isn't for your good or the highest good of the other person or the whole of us as a community, we need to be safe and we need to feel secure. But it's nice to have a door open a little bit.
Yes. Well, it's also important, and I'm so guilty of this. I'm Swedish, so I'm pretty stubborn at times.
No.
Yes. And sometimes I have gotten into conversations, heated conversations, where I need to stop and listen to what they're saying, because I have such a strong belief of what I think. I don't want, it's not that I don't want to, I just so strongly don't believe what they're trying to tell me. And sometimes you need to listen to that as well, so that you can learn, I don't know what I'm trying to say, being more receptive, I guess, of other people's not way of thinking. I'm having a hard time expressing
it is their way of thinking.
their belief. Yeah, I have learned that it's okay to be passionate, but it's also okay to be able to understand where someone else is coming from.
And it doesn't mean that you have to agree with it.
Yes.
Because, we all are individuals and we all have our own unique spirit souls, but we're all connected. And that's the thing.
Yes.
We're all connected, and that's where it can be really hard if there's someone that is saying or doing things that we strongly disagree with. It's like,
it's hard.
it can be difficult, but then there are common things that we can agree on. And are those things not politically inclined, or are they maybe talking about God and religion isn't a topic? There's other things that we can talk about.
Yes.
There's, I don't know, sports, and there's
nature, movies, books, all sorts of things that you
Yeah.
can talk outside of that. One thing I want to, and this is about belonging. This just popped into my head. Years ago, when I first started going through menopause, and you do that 3 a.m. wake up and you can't get back to sleep and blah, blah, blah. And in talking to other women, it was like all of us were doing that. All of us were waking up. And I've heard someone else call it the 3 a.m. club, in fact. So I had written, and I don't know where it is. I have books, journals and stuff, but I had written a prayer that I sent out to the universe through an email. And I can't even tell you my email address at the time. That as women collectively around the world could say together, as we're waking up at 3 a.m. for this thing. And I think that's something.
Do you have it anywhere?
I'll have to look.
Oh,
or
my
we can
goodness.
write a new one.
Okay.
Because I think
it would
that's
be so cool if you
yes.
could find yours, though. Wouldn't it be
Yeah.
awesome to be able to have
And I
this?
tried. I really tried to make it a huge movement. If I remember correctly, it was during the time where a lot of women were getting sexually abused in guerrillas were taking over in villages in I think in Africa, if I remember correctly, and they were being raped, and
we
kids
have to be
were being
careful with our words here.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But the prayer that I was putting out is to put a safety light around these women,
Yes.
and giving them the courage to get out and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love for that to become, again, this goes back to, I believe there's more love in the world than there is hate. Mm-hmm. And that's another way of showing unity, belonging, is to do that.
And that's where the love and the light comes in,
yes.
and that's where that whole frequency and vibration of what we are thinking about and what we're spending time with our brain swirling is creating energy, and it's creating energy in our bodies, and it's creating energy out in the world. And we have to be very careful about what we're letting spin in our brains, and for how long we're letting it spin before we can shift to go into a more peaceful place in our brain, or a fun place, and not feel guilty about having some joy or having some fun and taking care of ourselves, because that's mental health. That's important for us to be cognizant of, is our well-being on all those levels.
Yes.
So belonging has been our topic in our spiritual conversations, and so
we would really love to hear from you guys. And I know some of you, that's a hard ask.
Yeah.
You don't like to I get it. I totally get it. But we want you to know that this is a safe community in our conversations, and we would love to include you in those conversations. So if you have anything to share, please let us know. And if you have any more ideas.
Well, and I just had one pop in my head. We haven't talked about it.
Go for it.
So I'm just gonna put it out there. You trust me?
I do.
Oh, God. Okay, so when she's saying this, what popped into my head is that if there are enough of us in a local area of the Brainerd Lakes area, and we wanted to get together for an afternoon circle of meeting each other and sharing a little bit about each other and making those connections with each other, if that's something that you're interested in, and we can set it out far enough so that if you aren't right in the area, you could take time to come. What do you think of that?
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
So, but if people are interested, and I know life is crazy busy, and if there isn't interest, that's totally fine. We're here, we're talking, we're chatting, we're having conversations, and we're thrilled that you're here, and we're thrilled that you're joining us. And your presence is so important, even if you don't say a word. We're just grateful that you're here.
Yes.
So
I also wanted to, as this continues, and this will be completely out of my comfort zone, but at some point it'd be fun to do a live, because then we can take questions as they're coming in, and have conversations. But that's a ways down the road. That just popped into my head too. Okay. But I love that idea.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But we are belonging. We are in this circle of connection here with our conversations. And thank you for being here. And until next time, have a great week.
Thank you.
Bye.